Recruitment of sales force or sales people. Today we'll talk about the main topics in chapter 5 about the recruitment of sales force. The sales people or sales force are very important because it is the key to success, since it is usually the sales force that directly generates the revenue of the firms or for the firms. The firm must build a good selection program or selection system which could help in improving sales force performance and minimizing the sales force cost, direct or indirect cost, and simplifying and facilitating other activities such as training, supervising, and motivating, something like that. If I select a good sales people, it will be easy for me to develop or set up for them a training program or supervising them or motivating them and so on. Types of salespeople. Well, there are the two main groups of types of salespeople. The first group is about out takers, which contains three types, subtypes of salespeople. Driver sales representatives who own a van or something like that, full of product and try to sell them to the shop. The second one is inside all the order taker, which behind the counter, waiting for the customer to ask for something. Outside order taker, the main job is to go to the customer in the field by call or by visit or something like that. The second group, sales supporter, machinery sales person. The main job is to build a goodwill, a good wants, and perform potential activities. Sales engineer, and this is focus or emphasizes on the technical part of the product. The third type is about the order getter, creative sales representative for tangible and intangible products. Now we go into the number of sales people. How to determine the number of sales people which I need? It is difficult, but I depend on two main types, two main methods. The first one depend on the total load, workload, and the second one the total sales volume. And in these two, I have to determine the average of the total work of average employees or average worker. The first one, workload methods. To apply this approach, the firm needs to estimate number one, the total workload, number two, the workload that an average salesperson should be able to handle or achieve it, and dividing them. Divide the first one on the second one. The second type or second method is the potential method. I have to determine the forecasting sales volume, total sales volume, and estimate the sales productivity of the average of sales person. And I have to determine the rate of sales force turnover. Now I am going to talk about the responsibility for selection the sales people in the small company or firms or medium company or firms. The sales executive is responsible for selection of sales people. But in the large company or firms, there are two types of there are two types to select the sales person. The first one is about decentralized. Centralized means the head office will be responsible about selecting the sales people. But the second type is about decentralization, which prepare the head office prepare a good guide to give it to the branches manager of the any branch to follow it in selecting sales people. After that, we will talk. About the sources, about the outside sources is customer, as I said, and educational institution, college and schools, high schools. Something like that. And through advertisement, yes, of course, the advertisement is a very good source to get some sales force. Voluntary application. If I send my CV to any firm or any company, just in case they will need me. Employment agencies like Hazem Hassan and something like that. Employment agencies, it will be good, but in certain area like clerks and the part-time. After that, we will talking about the recruiting. Now we finished chapter 5. Suitable for, it will be